Most of us try to avoid toxic friendships or relationships because they can poison the minds of healthy-minded people. Of course, people should grow and go on a journey to learn more about their emotions and logic. No one wants to go back in time and start suffering for things that have happened in their lives as a result of poor decisions made without thinking. INTJs are often at the center of attention for a variety of reasons, which causes them to suffer from the discomfort of being noticeably different from others. There are a number of challenges that INTJs face that might make them unhealthy, including emotional connections, professional relationships, and friendships. Getting to know these indicators can, of course, help them and those around them who can be affected by their behavior. Today I'm talking about the top 9 signs you might be an unhealthy INTJ. Let's get into it. Welcome to Success for Breakfast, where I'm serving up brain food made simple. Hit that subscribe button to get the latest videos created to give you the tools to level up your life. Number 9 on today's list of signs of an unhealthy INTJ is they act as though they're smarter than everyone. An unhealthy INTJ thinks that they are smarter than anyone else, but not at a normal level. It's as if they cannot accept anyone's ideas or suggestions on anything. They feel like they are made of a unique material that makes them different from others. The unhealthy INTJ feels more mature, at least that's what they think, which induces their insecurities, so they are not able to listen to others' ideas and input. Unhealthy INTJs feel like the people they are talking to are all dramatic teenagers, acting immature towards any ideas and plans an INTJ suggests. The fact that they are introverted intuitive dominant, which means that they are more concerned with observing and perceiving their surroundings before going back to describe their observations, plus their extroverted thinking, is the ultimate catalyst of unhealthy INTJs wanting to act bossy around other people and show that they are the best at everything. Next up, and number 8, is unhealthy INTJs are dishonest in showing their feelings. One of the most striking problems that unhealthy INTJs have has to do with their sensing and internal emotions. Sensing can be a significant challenge for them. Unhealthy INTJs will try to isolate themselves from other people and the rest of the world because it allows them to avoid their actual circumstances. Unhealthy INTJs are most afraid of being vulnerable. Therefore, talking about their feelings freely and without any filter is their biggest concern. As a result, an unhealthy INTJ tends to suppress their true feelings, preferring to bury them in their own hearts than express them aloud, making them appear cold and uncaring. This issue demands far too much attention and comprehension on the part of those around them in order to be dealt with effectively. Number 7 on today's list is unhealthy INTJs are extremely arrogant. The INTJ's ability in the areas of intelligence, logic, and reason is undeniable, and it is unquestionably one of their greatest assets, along with their belief in their own ideas. These virtues, however, might become flaws if they develop into a superiority attitude. Most people can recognize that INTJs that are unhealthy might be quite arrogant. One cause for this unfavorable indicator is their proclivity to rely on analytical rather than emotional thinking. As I previously mentioned, unhealthy INTJs prefer to conceal their true feelings, which can lead to more rational beliefs in the world that are later perceived as harsh or cruel by others. While a healthy INTJ can recognize the problem and allow themselves to be a little more vulnerable in order to deal with it at some point, an unhealthy INTJ has difficulties recognizing this truth. The 6th sign of an unhealthy INTJ is they have a tendency of being extremely introverted. For different personalities, being involved in various activities with other people is quite significant, since it allows them to uncover their strengths and weaknesses as well as their abilities. When it comes to INTJs though, they tend to be introverted, but extreme introversion can turn a healthy INTJ into an unhealthy one. As a result, many prefer not to work in groups at all. It's as if they can and will refuse any opportunities that put them in groups or teams. Obviously, this isn't healthy behavior for anyone, but for unhealthy INTJs, it can be taken to the extreme. Even though INTJs prefer to work alone and typically already know the best course of action to achieve what they want, closing themselves off from everything and everyone, as unhealthy INTJs do, can cause long-term isolation that can be a challenge to break free from, leading to a lot of loneliness and feeling even more out of place. If you've gotten some value from this video so far, please show your appreciation and hit that like button. That signals YouTube that you think other people could benefit from this video too. Starting our top 5 today is unhealthy INTJs don't care about relationships. Everyone's life revolves around their personal relationships. Of course, we're not talking about healthy INTJs here who understand how to value their relationships and how to be better listeners in order to better understand their partners. Being in a relationship with an unhealthy INTJ can be the most difficult thing anyone has ever done. They don't place a high value on their relationships and may even prefer to eliminate a loved one from their life because they consider it useless or a waste of time. Unhealthy INTJs are genuinely unconcerned with how others feel. They're so focused on their own objectives and ideas that they don't want to consider the emotional needs of others. This is due to the cage unhealthy INTJs have built around their feelings, which they're reluctant to share with the people who actually care about them. Next up at number 4 today is unhealthy INTJs become excessively perfectionistic. Perfectionism can occasionally be helpful in motivating people to pursue their aspirations and make them a reality, but if it becomes a major part of an INTJ's personality, they'll have trouble seeing their goals the same way they did before, and nothing will be acceptable for them. Being excessively perfectionistic is exactly what the unhealthy INTJs may face. They are task-oriented, and if even the tiniest detail goes wrong, they may lose their cool. It's as if they only had one chance to show the world that they are sufficient and enough. In this instance, they progressively lose patience and become critical to where they can no longer listen to people's words since they are uninspiring, so they prefer to ignore them completely. In unhealthy INTJs, this can lead to feelings of loneliness since they believe no one truly understands them, and they think they may never be understood by anybody ever again. Kicking off our top 3 today is unhealthy INTJs look for flaws in other people. One thing is certain, no one is perfect. INTJs who are in good health are aware of their shortcomings, or at least attempt to find and then work on them. However, the same argument does not hold true for INTJs who are unhealthy. These people are terrified of accepting their own defects, therefore they prefer to identify flaws in others. They want to be accepted by everyone, but only if they themselves are perfect. Unhealthy INTJs must always be Mr. Right in all situations, regardless of how. As a result, they are unable to sympathize with others. One of the biggest issues with this is that if they don't stop criticizing people for their minor imperfections, it can become such an inseparable part of their personality that they might not ever be able to put it right again. In the runner-up spot, and number 2 today, is their minds work more than overtime. Spending a lot of time overthinking about all the intricacies in your life or even issues and how to solve them is a problem for unhealthy INTJs. It's as if they can't get their thoughts out of their heads. There's constantly a problem-solving process going on which can be time-consuming and, most of the time, taxing. But they can't get away from these toxic thoughts. While focusing on issues that may or may not be handled, they overlook the genuine objectives they have and waste valuable time on them. They can't concentrate on the actual goal because they want to know how and why things happened, spending way too much time in their thoughts than actually putting plans into action, which is one of the greatest strengths of a healthy INTJ. Topping our list in the number 1 sign of an unhealthy INTJ is losing touch with the sensory world. An unhealthy INTJ is utterly out of reach, both in terms of the sensory world and the particular surroundings they are conscious of. Their problem with their sensing function is that it might cause them to vanish from the world as they lose track of time and what is going on around them. This could be the start of a series of issues for them. It can get to the point where they don't care about their physical well-being after a while, and they don't try to grow their personality into a better self since they can't comprehend how and why things need to be done in specific ways. Even fitting into their own environment can be a tremendous struggle for them. There is little doubt that all personalities have unhealthy sides, but the question is how to deal with them. Those that are INTJs have some characteristics that set them apart from others, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing unless symptoms of becoming unhealthy appear. As I've talked about, unhealthy INTJs exhibit various symptoms that can be identified by themselves or others. It's better if they acknowledge and address their shortcomings. That is the best way to achieve success. After all, there is nothing better than having a healthy mind to guide you through life. What are your thoughts or experiences with these signs of an unhealthy INTJ? Leave a comment and let me know. You've got this, now go get it done. Grab yourself some more brain food to help you level up your life and click on one of the videos on your screen right now.